Today I wanted to rant a bit about CIB collecting, or rather, complete in box. Part of the problem with this term is the different definitions of it. To me, the bare minimum for calling something complete is game, box, and manual. The exception to this is if a game came with a bonus item like a map or poster or some such. Going even deeper, there are some who only accept one with everything, including ads and registration cards and the like. Personally, I don't worry much about these, as they don't supplement the game in any way. Plus, it's hard as hell to figure out what came with what, without opening a new box. Most people on eBay don't understand this term in any form. I can't tell you how many auctions I've seen with complete plastered across the thing when it's just a game. No box, no manual, but still somehow complete. Less egregious, but still an issue, is one with just the box and game. There are a few games, like some of the Final Fantasies, where they also call it complete but are missing things like the maps. This is a problem. Another problem I'm beginning to see is the spread of the term vintage, often used interchangeably with the term antique. The first problem is that these are not interchangeable terms. Vintage is used to denote a particular year. So, say a vintage 1985 NES console, or whatever those car things are that people are so fond of. It's used to denote a particular incarnation of a product to differentiate it from another. It does not mean old. But let's say for the sake of argument that it does. Language is an evolving thing. So let's say vintage denotes something old and classic. The NES is probably creeping into the vintage camp by now. SNES and Genesis, one could make an argument. A PlayStation 1? No. Hell no. The PlayStation is not a vintage console yet. And when I see PS2 games called vintage, that's just right out. But this is mostly a nitpick. A far bigger problem is the propensity to call games rare. Every item you list is not rare. Every older game is not rare. The biggest misuse of this word comes from Sonic the Hedgehog. The not-for-resale version is not a rare variant. It's more common to find the not-for-resale versions, as it was a marketing tactic used by Sega of America to sell more consoles. Probably a good third of the Genesis consoles sold in the US came with a copy of this game. By posting this as rare, you are at best proclaiming yourself as ignorant of the item you're selling, or at worst trying to con people out of extra money with your outright lies. But speaking of this usage, or rare, there's a far worse perpetrator of this: the repro sellers. If you find somebody selling a repro hack and calling it rare, this is not someone you should do business with, because these are not rare. These are manufactured whenever you need them. There are quite a few reputable repro sellers who will slap any ROM you wish on a cart for you to enjoy. Some of them can be pricey, yes. But when you take these and put them up on eBay as a rare copy of a game, you're just trying to screw someone over. Brutal Mario is not a rare game. Earthbound Uncut is not a rare game. Castlevania Chorus of Mysteries is not a rare game. These are repros of ROM hacks. Cool? Absolutely. Rare? Not a chance in hell. Which brings us to the last major problem I see while trying to collect on eBay. Or actually collecting in general. Overpriced items. Now, understand what I'm talking about here. Earthbound on the SNES is not really a rare game, as there's almost always a good dozen or so copies on sale at any given time. But I understand it having a $600 price tag at this point. Several other titles, too. I understand them being relatively expensive. As a collector, I'm not happy with the speculator prices on items. But I won't fault people for selling them at that price. No, what I am talking about is disgustingly overpriced items. Items that are not at all rare, but some loathsome jackass posts them at a ridiculous price point. As if just pricing it makes it worth that. The worst one I can recall was a NES auction. Just a regular old NES. I believe it came with a controller and the zapper, possibly a copy of Mario and Duck Hunt. No box, no paperwork, just this old NES. But what boggled the mind was the price they were asking for it. $1,200. $1,200. I just don't know what was wrong with this person. NES was the video game console of its generation. It's easily one of the most prolific ones ever. That son of a bitch better be mint in box for that price. Then not just some regular mint in box NES, but the full set with ROM and everything. Possibly unopened even. That is a NES that is begging to be worth $1,200 to most reasonable people. A shitty old NES you had sitting in your garage? Get the hell out of here. But that's getting to my main point. You cannot trust a seller. On eBay or anywhere really. A third of them are ignorant of their product. Another third are just greedy or outright liars. There are far too few who know their product and are honest about it. This goes with anything. But with game collecting especially, it's so important for you to be an informed consumer. You need to know what you are looking for and all the potential issues that arise from it, such as CIB, card only, repros, rarity, extraneous items, and even variants of the title. But that's what I'm here for. I'm using all this ranting to announce the launch of a new series here on the RKI channel. Collecting Game. You can find general guidelines for collecting out there, but you have to truly dig deep to uncover some of the eccentricities in collecting certain titles. So, to go along with game night, every other series I will be producing a collecting game video detailing what you need to know if you are collecting or even selling the game in question. The goal here is to have a series of videos that you guys can pull up when face to face with an item that will tell you the potential issues and what to look out for, based around some of my own mistakes. Hopefully this will help you guys be informed buyers, knowledgeable sellers, and above all, preserve some of these games as they were in their original forms. All without having to dig deep into your reserves of Google Foo. He says as if his own show is not some rare thing buried on the interwebs. So, with all that said, I hope we can continue to have pompous fun with game night and getting our collecting on with Collecting Game. See you next time. You should be offended on a daily basis. You shouldn't plug your ears or worse, try to silence something you find offensive. You should seek it out. Because that feeling of offense is not a klaxon for you to force another to adapt to you, but rather a sign you need to look within yourself to understand yourself a little bit better. Question the why.
We have tutorials, in-game guides, and access to the internet at large. Info can be found easily. But there was an age where, in order to know the story, or even how to play the game functionally at all, you turned to the manual. These two items form the basis of all CIB collecting, and are my personal base requirements. If you wish to go farther, there are various inserts and registration cards. Not a requirement for me personally, as it's almost impossible.